Hi. Hello. I've been playing with like the time on Sundays, and I really like to have something to start my week. And so I do a lot of intention setting for this particular program. And I know it's listed at 9 today. Most likely it will go back to 8 o'clock. I'm finding that I probably have time on that day at that time and I have better attendance. Either is fine. Right now, I'm not expecting attendance because I'm at a different time. So, one of the things that I wanted to come and talk about was how the energy is for us at the moment as we're experiencing it. There's a lot of influence in the energy that we're experiencing. So I would like to have us begin to center into our heart space and relinquish our focus. So defocus on whatever the thoughts are, the experiences. Take a break from the story. Just keep bringing your energy back to you, back to you, back to you. Very nice. So Sundays are a day of channel for me. I'm usually with spirit quite deeply, and today was the moon. We celebrated the moon today. The moon was very beautiful. Full moon in Libra. The release was shamanic drumming, so we did that. That was a deep journey, and it was really experiential for participants as well as for myself and Manuel. We both did it. And I'm doing some candle work for some of my students because we had interest in that in one of the classes. And I'm feeling like a lot of the energy that I've put out there, but I'm also aware of where I would like to be. There are many things that are going to come forward in the future that we feel prepared for and maybe not prepared for. Most of it is love, acceptance, humility, ease, comfort, joy, appreciation, words that you would associate to goodness. All right. And with this, the messaging that's coming through right now is for us to move into a space of allowance and let whatever is going to happen to what is manifested happen and decide what you would like to experience, not from what you're observing so much as how you feel connected in your heart to where it is you'd like to be. Very important to allow yourself to dreamscape that and mindscape that. Allow yourself to drift and wonder into what would feel nice. Really connect all of your sensory awareness into your experiential awareness. Like, feel into it. We practice a lot in class, and in class it's easy because we're in an entrainment. It's more challenging because there's more frequencies to work with when you're external of a training. Let's say we all know how to manage our energetic field, that we all know how to tell the difference between us and someone else energetically. Let's propose we merely have to slow down for it to catch up and sit in the energy of that, There's a lot of knowledge there. You can feel the knowledge brewing here, basically. This is ideation. You're sitting with ideation. Your ideation, you're going to put through many channels of your experience to decipher what the impression or sense is of it. You might put it through sight to see what it looks like. You might have a thought about what it is. You might have words in your head that you've created or have been created, maybe an association of a song, maybe words from another person. Or you'll go ahead and you'll use your feeling to connect. And those are all of the major clairs, or the ones that people practice openly, knowingly. I don't know how to say that. We practice all of them often. The idea is to understand that you're already in the energy of where you wish to be. If you are in a space, when I say space, it really comes out like this. You can use that construct or eliminate it, because space is a concept. When you understand the words that you use, the words that you use become more impactful and empowering. Spaciousness. Now that ideation will allow us to open a little bit more, because each of us has a different understanding of what that is. Again, you'll think, see it, maybe tell yourself about it, have a feeling, create a frequency, and then move into the energy of it. When you move into the energy of it, you're in the inspired action of it. When you have a feeling, you're connected to it, both energetically and physically. What we find when we manifest an object, person, place, or thing, whatever the tangible is, we're finding that we feel something at the end of that receipt. Many times you've heard that if you feel that first, then move to that second, because it will come that way. Yet we tell ourselves in a story that it's not there yet. How do we circumvent what we desire in having of and enjoying of, and to get to where we would like to be? Like, how could we go around the object as the result and look more for the feeling, right? Meditation is going to be key, allowing the energy to flow through you and become, because that's what we do. We become the energy of what we ask. We become that vibrational match, that thought process, that feeling process, that experiential process. Then we put our body into motion, enter the experience, and we do exactly what we say, hear, and feel here. When these are separate, it makes it difficult to move in harmony for ourselves. Two different vibrations that we're putting into the field of the experience. So when you have a thought and you can marry it to a feeling, you become full-bodied, and everything shows up to push you in the direction you would like, or navigate the direction that you would like wholly. Mostly what you're doing is you're capturing your personal audience of you. Your personal audience is going to be, how do you feel? What do you think? What would you like to do? You can structure it in any order, all right? The order isn't going to determine the likelihood of it producing itself. Yet, having all three work in harmony make it come that much easier. Really think about what it is that you're asking for. Sometimes we're asking for a Band-Aid, and what we need is surgery. So be mindful about what you're asking for. If you're asking for more money, what do you need that for? You don't have to be reasoning that. You need to know, what will you feel, and what will you think, and what will you know, and how will you talk to yourself when you're in that experience? That experience is already beginning for you. They begin in thought through ideation, where you have an idea. Sometimes you might be stuck in a different experience, so you might insert things that are negative. Those negativities don't make the experience poor, it makes you feel poor. So now you're having a thought, turning it into a frequency, pushing this frequency of, I don't want this anymore, toward what you're doing. You're going to feel the necessity of breaking away from it somehow, some way. So you'll start to reason sometimes in why you don't want something, and that's unnecessary. If you could practice more of sitting still and observing what you're in, because it's lasted for a while, okay? So it served a purpose of a sort. You don't have to determine what the learning was. You can accept that it was a learning experience. You can accept that you feel complete in the circumstance, and that you can't milk any more satisfaction from the current experience. That doesn't make it bad or worn out or anything like that. It just means you're done with that circumstance. You're just done with it. You don't have to feel exasperation to know that that's where you're at, or frustration over being there. Those are generated. You can be in acceptance. You can be in acceptance to the degree to where you kind of let go of that focus, because it's mind focus. So you let go of that focus and you bring your energy, your curiosity back to you about how to prepare, fix, or do something, right? And then you start to think to yourself, well, what would I like to feel next, right? What would I like to feel next? Is it a sense of accomplishment? Is it permission? Is it gratitude? Like, you're going to choose. You're going to choose in that moment how you'd like to feel, and that's going to start a new energetic path for you. That energetic path is going to bring to you in an attractive way that vibration. So lots of representations for that particular vibration will begin to show up in your experience. So choosing a feeling that produces an actual frequency, right? And it's an embodied frequency. So it's at that slower vibrational offering that matches tangible aspects that you're asking for. You're going to marry your frequencies more readily. Being still is key. Just sitting still. And because there's a lot of distraction, there's a lot of harmony at the same time. How you choose to direct your focus will be how you're able to determine your day. That was a lot. They're compelling me to share some tips with you, so I shall. One of the things that they want to remind you of, because these are things that you already know, these are things that you know inherently, that it's good to shower off energy, so to speak. And when you're showering off energy, you can do it with water. You can light a candle and take the fire. Just, you pick the fire up and you bring it over like this. You don't have to actually touch the flame. It's the intention. Cleanse with fire. You can get a bowl of salt and wash your hands with a bowl of salt. There's many different ways when you're finished with something to bless yourself and thank yourself for giving yourself the opportunity, and also thank the opportunity for the provision of yet another choice. When you can put yourself into that space of the in-between for both of them, you'll notice that your nervous system and your sensory awareness begins to relax. Your parasympathetic turns off. You're not in fight or flight because you have allowed yourself to not be attached to an outcome. An outcome drives you, and it's easier to ride. Okay? So let's talk about intention setting. That's what this takes us to. I was talking with an individual today because we were doing candle work for a class, and as we were doing that candle work, she mentioned that she's lit a candle, a pink candle for love. And she goes, it was weird because it burned so fast. And I told her, I said, well, do you know why you light the candle? Do you know why you light the candle? Like what the candle does? And she said, no. And I said, what happens is that you're discreating. You're discreating a situation. And she goes, well, how would that relate to wanting love, more love, self-love? I said, you're discreating the limitation that tells you you're not worthy. And it burned fast because there's probably a lot it has to go through. When it burns slower and it feels like it's meandering, it's cleaning up a lot of energy. If it's burning at a rapid rate, then it's burning a lot of energy and you'll probably need another one. All right? And that's how you can kind of gauge it. The intention that you set when you are providing something, a resource for yourself, is very important because you're coming from that space. You're going to make that decision in that right now moment. You're going to take all of the information that you have from the past experience. You're going to bring it, maybe take your backpack off. They said rucksack. Take your backpack off and set it down in front of you next to the fire. But you're also going to call forward anything that you think is blocked. We do that. Okay. And you'll start setting your intention because you're intending something in the future. And you don't want something to repeat from the past, but you're making the decision right here. You're making it with the best value and most information possible. Everyone does. The outcome is not up to you. The manifesting ritual, the connection to the intention, the feeling frequency that you generate, that is all connected. The outcome, the actual physical outcome to what you are vibing for is a rendition of that vibration. And it could be many things. If you're vibing love and you're looking for partnership and you end up with a beautiful red car that you love, that's a relationship. That's what I mean. There's many different ways to read the energy. One of the things that I found the most useful and compelling, I would say, compelling for me to show me that that was the right way to do it, or a way to do it that provided what I needed in a structure, was to go into recognition. So I might have a heartfelt feeling of something that I desire, okay? Before I do a ritual or before I do a ceremony or before I really go into something that's going to manifest it, I go through all of the things that think that maybe I can't have it. And I sit with those things and I do writing and I burn it and I let go of it until I'm in a good space, because I've learned that I'm going to manifest from my right now position. So whatever my right now position is, it's going to affect what comes because it's a vibe. So I could listen to comedy, and that would bring me into joy and happy, and I could manifest from there, because you could do that. All right. I could just have a joyous thought and be in a good mood and manifest from there. I could come from a place of desperation and manifest from there, place of need, right? Okay. You could tell the difference between each of those vibrational words. That's the vibration of the word. That's the feeling and frequency of the word. And it's how it feels to you. You're the one that will dial it to see what feels more aligned to you. The more that you can edit your dictionary and create words that will empower you and help you create embodiment into your physical experience, the better off you will be. Mostly because you're becoming right now. We're becoming. And we're moving from a state of doing into a state of being. And it's different. So it's a vibrational offering focus rather than a tangible offering focus. So start to pay attention to that and bring that about for yourself. You'll find more ease and you'll have more grace, and things will work out for you a little bit easier. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say for tonight. I do appreciate you for joining. Thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely